First game on this list is called Azurum. It's just a painfully boring walking simulator where you walk through what looks like it might be fucking Siberia. You walk along these train tracks, going from house to house to collect wood and then start a fire to keep you from dying to the cold. So that way you can make it to the next house to start a fire so that way you don't die to the cold. So that way you can walk to the next house so you can start a fire so you don't die from the cold. And then you rinse and repeat this process until the game eventually tells you to stop playing, which was not my case. I quit this game because it was so fucking painfully boring. You can find other things in this houses like cloth and clothing. And there's even a gun in the game, but you find 2 bullets in the first like 6 houses I think I visited. You can only find 2 individual bullets. And they don't even register when you shoot them at things. They just shoot and then like nothing seems to happen. This game really wants you to stay on the railroad that they provide for you. But if you just follow the railroad, then it really is just a walking simulator. There is nothing more to this game than just walking. There are wildlife that's off the tracks, but it's wolves and bears. And the wolves run up to you and hit you and run away. And then the bear can kill you in one hit. Both of these things seem to have like no real like quote unquote enemy detection to them. They just know you're there. They don't even have to see you. They don't have to hear you. You don't have to see them or hear them. It doesn't matter. Either way, they're going to start running towards you. And if you try shooting at them, it doesn't fucking matter because you only have 2 bullets and they don't register. Everything about this game feels like it's just fluffing you up so you hit the 2 hour mark so that way you can't refund the game. There's actually no substance to it. It's just a mediocre looking map that you just spend forever walking across. There is a sprint bar, but it dies so quick and takes so long to regenerate that it's just not even worth it, really. It doesn't make a difference if you're sprinting or if you're walking. The game is only $1, but I think that's $1 too much that they charge. It feels like it was just a test run for someone who wants to be a game developer one day and they were just trying to mess around with map creation because that's truly what it comes off as being. It is just an almost empty map with a couple of houses and a lot of fucking trees. There's nothing to do. You don't really see anybody, or you might, but I didn't make it that far because the game is so fucking boring. There's no user exploration really either, which kind of sucks because it seems like they put a lot of time into developing a super shitty map. But it probably is either a solo developer or small team of developers, so they get a pass there. But they don't even let you explore it. There's invisible walls around these random areas that are protected by other wildlife that just kill you. The next game I played was called Their Land. It's a solo exploration survival story game, kind of. I think they market it as like a puzzle solo game. Not a bit of it feels like a puzzle. There are so many things wrong with this game that I can't even find one singular redeeming quality about it. The map design is poor. The graphics are horrible. The dialogue fucking sucks. The gameplay fucking sucks. The frames are god awful. It runs at 20 frames per second, even though it's a game from 2023. This game isn't even a year old, and yet it feels like it's something I would have played on PS2, and they didn't even bother to remaster. They just plugged it right into Steam so they could charge you $10 for it. The game is free, but I feel like that's still priced too high for this absolute piece of dog shit. I like to be nice and give the benefit of the doubt because this game is probably created by a solo developer or small team of developers, but it does feel like a 12-year-old who's created a Fortnite map could probably throw some shit together and it'd be better than whatever this hot pile of dog shit was. I think there's not even much more I can say about this game because there's not one nice thing I can say. I can't even give them a participation trophy, I can't even be like, well, at least you tried, because it doesn't feel like they tried. It doesn't feel like they even tried to make a bad game. It doesn't even feel like they tried to make a game. It just seems like they clicked a bunch of different things in Unity Engine and then just uploaded it to Steam. The last game I played was called Heat and Homestead. This game is basically just Rust except cowboys. My biggest problem with this game is that nobody plays it, and I'm sure that's why it fell down to the top 100 worst reviewed games on Steam. It's just because every single server I tried was dead. There wasn't a soul in there, and half of them didn't even have a server anymore that I could actually get onto. This game just relies so heavily on other people being in the map that if you're trying to play it solo, it just kind of feels like yet another walking simulator. There was a bunch of already claimed bases all over the map, and you can't get into any of them because they say you need the leader to unlock it for you. I think one of the coolest things about this game, though, is that you can play like different classes, I guess you could call it. There's a cowboy, there's something else, and then there's the president. Because I was playing this game for such a short amount of time, I decided to not give the president a go because I felt like it would probably take a long time before you could build the White House and then start drone striking the other people on the map. I think this game is actually really creative and unique, kind of, for a survival game because I haven't really seen many survival games that you play as a cowboy that are actually good. The gameplay didn't feel bad and the world didn't look bad. Nothing really seemed bad about this game except for the fact that nobody plays it. There's quite literally zero other people online when I was playing this game. But I think if the developers still cared about this game and put the time, money, and effort into it, then it probably could be a decent survival game with kind of a niche community. The biggest redeeming quality of this game to me is that you can smoke cigarettes in the game. It spawns you with 3 packs of cigarettes that you can just pop in your mouth and walk around and smoke. And that's my favorite mechanic in any single game ever. I love smoking cigarettes in games. There's nothing quite like it. It really makes it feel like you are playing a character, you know? It really brings some life and some uniqueness. There's nothing like introducing lung cancer to a video game, but it really was just a dead game. There's just nothing to it. I'm sure there was back when there was full lobbies, back when this game first came out, if there ever was, but it seems that there is kind of a dedicated niche community. It's just so painfully boring. It's kind of a common theme with all the games in this list. There's just nothing to do. The only game that I think truly deserves to be in the bottom 100 is Land. It really is one of the worst games that I've just ever played. I think there's no amount of funding or marketing or anything that could have possibly saved the game. It really was just that bad. It seemed like they had no idea of where they wanted to go with the game, and they kind of just started throwing shit together. But the other two were just kind of empty. That's all it really was, and that's something that can be fixed with updates. You know, if the developers really did care, they could just update the game. They could just put stuff to do in it. But I doubt they will, considering both of these developers are relatively small developers. But yeah, I think that's it.